Hello, everyone. This is Marianne, your host, and today is July 21st, 2016. So welcome. I'm going to mute everybody out for a minute. Just hold on here. Okay. Again, it's still July 21st, 2016, and welcome to our Thursday night call, and with myself, Cynthia and Mare, and again, thank you all for coming tonight. Our Thursday night calls are every other Thursday, and they pertain to the new and full moon, astrology, and you know what? So much more. We've got a lot of information to share, and also other people come in and they add their own information, and it just, we're grateful to have so many other people come in too. We are a part of the Diamond Network, which has calls every Monday and Thursday night, with the main call being on Monday. Tuesday is Voices from the Alternative World with Sunny and Dale. Wednesday is the Candy Shop Show, so that's with Candy and her various guests. Thursday, we alternate with Misty. So all the information is on the site, diamonds with an S, .forever31.blogspot.com. So, again, thank you all for coming, and I am just going to turn this call over to Cynthia, and I would like if you could do the Law of One right off the bat.
Yeah, let's do the Law of One right off the bat.
Okay.
We are addressing all the infinite aspects of creation to come and be with us now. And we thank you for coming, and we thank you for being, and we thank you for who you are. And we ask for your highest good because we are all one. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who we are, and we are one with all there is, we ask that the highest good of all happen. So be it, and so it is. And tonight I want to introduce our guest star, and our guest star is the planet Saturn. Saturn is conjuncting the fixed star Antares, and is putting out such a complete DNA precise readout that it's just a slam dunk that we're all going to make it just fine. And so tonight I wanted to talk about Saturn because whatever it is that Saturn's doing right now, and that's what we're going to talk about, if you ever want to be successful, now is the time. Once you understand the exact point that Saturn is energizing along with the star Antares, you will jump on it. It's like you know, all your dreams come true. And David Icke has a wonderful YouTube on Saturn right now. It's just really important to look at it. because Saturn has a wisdom that's extremely simple. It's so simple. And yet it has been misinterpreted over and over and over again. And that's easily understandable if you've ever tried to, translate, say, from Spanish to English or German to English, or Swahili to Greek. There's nuances in a language that are unique to that language, and trying to express them in a universally understandable way is difficult at times. It truly is. So there's no blame anywhere that there was misinterpretations, but nonetheless there were misinterpretations. And David Icke's wonderful YouTube will show you the misinterpretations and how the magic around Saturn has been used as an excuse for being very destructive. Saturn got a reputation as being death, and it was called the Black Sun. And the reason they thought of it as the Black Sun was a misinterpretation of an ancient language. And it's true and it's not true, okay? So just give me a little time here to explain this. There is a divine quality called the change of fate. It's a divine quality. And we have read it before on this call, but I will tell you that it emits a black light. Now let me tell you why the light is black. It's because it's below the visible light spectrum. It's vibrating at a delta brainwave frequency, which is below the visible light spectrum. But it's emitting it whether we can see it or not. And it's a magical energy. It's a power. It's a force. And it's so powerful that it pretty much rules the show. And the key with Saturn is to ride it like a wave. You go where the wave takes you. And right now, where the wave is taking us is aligned with the fixed star Antares. So, this is a super major time to utilize this black light. And I'll tell you how to do it. You go into a deep meditative state, almost trance-like. And you look at your life and the world that you've lived in, and you can see the causes behind the causes. You see the backstories. You understand what happened. And the next thing you do, and this is Saturn, is you create new causes. So that you can change fate. And in that deep, deep state of meditation, you can see the outcome that you're creating down the road for many generations. And you do it as a housekeeper. You do it as a responsible adult taking care of the children. And you do it as a creator God or goddess. It's a place of power and it's a place of divinity. And I assure you, if you didn't go into that space every 24 hours, you would probably die in about 2 weeks. Saving grace is that every night in deep dreamless sleep we go into that space. And the point of meditation or initiation, in the case that we're going to talk about tonight, is that you can produce that deep, deep, dreamless state of awareness in your waking state at will. And I believe that these gamma ray bursts coming off that quasar, which is microlensing into the Earth because of a star between us and the quasar, is speeding up our DNA so that we can survive, so the whole creation can survive. So Saturn right now, because it's at the fixed star Antares, which is adding power to it, is at, let me see, it is at 11 degrees Sagittarius. Mare, would you read that? Now, when she's reading what this is coming from Kabbalah, which is a common precursor of three of the world's major religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It is a common precursor. They will all admit it. So this is like real old. So this is this is 11 Sagittarius, Mare.
Okay, Golog, G-O-L-O-G. The angels of evocation. Angels Golog, please be with us all. Beloved, the original blueprints ordain that all beings of creation, both inner and outer, work together consciously for the good, the highest good of all. In the cosmic cycles and rhythms, it is now time for the web of life to mirror the image of the perfection of heaven. Therefore, it is of the greatest importance and benefit that each child of light become aware of vertical networking. You already use horizontal networks on the physical plane, such as in use of the internet or any form of the spoken or written word, and with others in embodiment. Now, remember to call for help from unseen beings as well. Angels, Christ, your guides, teachers, avatars, spirit healers, and adept saints, elemental beings, and prophets, those realized beings who are truly the extension of yourself, and unbind your power for accomplishing the most good in this incarnation. Network vertically, call on blessings and grace whenever you sense the truth of, I and myself can do nothing. It is the Father within that doeth the works, and claim your divine inheritance. For an example, a sense of futility in longing to contribute service toward ending pollution in your environment could stem from not drawing on all the heavenly resources for help. Suppose there is a harmful toxic waste dump near your home and you wish to clean it up. It is your divine right to accomplish this by enlisting the aid of nature spirits and angelic beings in the inner worlds, even more than by concentrating solely on enlisting the help of physical experts in the material world. The key is to have empathy for the existing situation and all involved, past, present, and future. Then ask for healing. Invoke help. Give specific instructions as to exactly what must be done. Understand the alchemy of visualizing the desired outcome already existing in the now moment and feel gratitude. If there is a war within your soul, or a war in your family, or a war in a neighboring country, and you wish to end it and bring peace, how easy and more effective for you to enlist the help of unseen beings. Remember the role of empathy to heal and transmute. Seeing through eyes of love awakens the indwelling holy essence in whatever is seen. When there are situations where seemingly no assistance is available in the outer world, remember that the heavenly hosts can accomplish anything, which is why it is said repeatedly, all things are possible to one that believes. Ask and you shall receive. We are very important angels to you, and we perform a very specific function. Ask for our help in learning to access the unlimited multitudes of heavenly hosts who serve the Most High and the highest good. In the realms of God, there are as many non-physical beings as there are visible beings in the physical worlds. The times are demanding great change and great healing, and working miracles with the aid of unseen beings is not only simpler, but ecstatic and blissful to accomplish. We are entrusted by Providence with teaching how to connect with the heavenly hosts, whose purpose is to assist and bless. Remember that humankind has been given dominion over creation by inheritance as children of God. Dominion must be guided by wisdom, which is the joining of will and love, for heaven and earth to mirror each other. The heavenly multitudes embody wisdom, love, and will of divine consciousness. There are legions for every conceivable issue or situation, and by calling on them for input, wisely use the power of dominion to administer heaven on earth. Just as there are different ways to connect with physical beings in your world, so there are different ways to connect with beings of the heavenly worlds. The temple of the heart contains within it all creation and all time and space. Enter this inner sanctuary. Take any situation and call on us while visualizing and feeling the desired outcome happening now. Ask the heavenly host to accompany you. As it becomes important to you to learn how to connect with spiritual beings, we are excellent teachers into the mysteries of this art. Through both horizontal and vertical networking, grace and mercy emerge in sufficiency to overcome all that has gone before, bringing forth the splendor and majesty of all beings in creation. To those who are mature and who have thoroughly learned the lessons of harmlessness and the law of one, we entrust words of power which use the letters and meditations of the divine virtues that are taught in these messages. These words of power give dominion over beings of any realm. To invoke aid from the heavenly hosts, clear intent is the first requirement for this. One must be aware of the existence and have strong desire or intention to contact them for a purpose. Make the contact inwardly in the same way you make a contact in the outer world. Identify who you wish to contact and then send a strong prayer in your inward consciousness to that heavenly being or beings. For example, in the case of the toxic waste site, you might wish to restore, ask to speak to the hosts that deal with the transmutation and nature. And if there are politics or economics involved, ask to speak to the host dealing with political and economic situations. This request goes out telepathically to the unified field of consciousness ever present in both inner and outer spaces. If you are physically sensitive, you will actually feel the appropriate beings soon focus their attention on you. Even if you do not have this sensitivity, rest assured that they are there. Next comes an intellectual grasp of what your purpose or request is. Hold this concept, the mental picture of what you want, clearly in your mind. The clearer that this is, the better. Using the law of one and asking for the highest good of all guarantees success, even if you are not exactly sure what to ask for. Then imagine and feel strongly deep empathy for all involved in all time and space, and feel the wonderful emotions that result from the answering of this prayer. Feel your own happiness and also the healthy, vibrant feelings from all who are affected by it. In our example, feel the thrill of the restored land and canyon ecosystem and the relief and joy of any local residents at the area as the area is restored to beauty and health. Finally, focus on the sensations of the outcome in the answered prayer. In our example, imagine hearing happy birds singing in the area with the wind rustling through the healthy plants and the smell of clean air and vision of loveliness of restored land. See the answer happening in the present now moment. Merge with feelings of joy and gratitude. The key is to imagine at each stage the desired intent, concept, feelings, and sensations of this prayer so clearly that you get to the point where you are holding all this concentration together at one time. Intent, desire, concept, feeling, and senses all at once. As this happens, a volt of energy goes out from your brain and most importantly from your heart. Its power determined by the amount of belief, enthusiasm, and feelings of triumphant beauty. This volt is a wave of fourfold information whose wholeness and effectiveness is defined by the clarity and scope of the emotional, conceptual, and sensory part of the prayer. This wave of information piggybacks onto or nests in sympathetic resonance with powerful, larger waves in the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient field of energy that is universal mind. If extreme or dramatic changes are sought, the heavenly host may desire to make sure the implications have been carefully considered and so require the request be made for more than once over a period of time. Whenever a child of light invokes aid of a personal nature, it is important to also ask that the same help be given to everyone else in creation who needs it. This is working in the Akasha, and when the highest good of all is included, there is no karma. For example, in our illustration, one asks that all toxic waste sites be corrected for the highest good of all. This is how magical evocation happens. This process focuses in the temple of the heart and is the mystical fourfold key to manifestation as taught by the ancients. Once you have performed it yourself a few times, it is easier and easier until becoming second nature. Fine-tune the intensity of your desire and clarity of your feelings and concept. Practice feeling and sensing. Even a child can do it. In fact, it takes a similar form of strong feelings and clear imagination as used by little children in play, in trust and innocence. You must be as little children to enter the kingdom of God. With faith, all things are possible. If you are not sure what to ask for as a solution to a problem, or even if you are not sure what exactly the problem is, perhaps having only a vague feeling that something somewhere is not as it should be, then we suggest that your request take the form of surrendering the entire situation to the beings of cosmic consciousness and love who understand the situation and how to heal it. Your heart acts as the grounding rod for divine intervention. Desire to connect with these beings. Imagine that they analyze and diagnose the situation and come up with the solution. Feel the wonderful emotions of having the situation resolve itself perfectly. Sense the beautiful results on the physical world from having this prayer answered. Go log. The angels of invocation, or evocation, the angels of evocation, 11 degrees Sagittarius. Thank you.
So what we're saying here is simply this. Now, if ever was a time to pray, it's now. I'm serious. You just don't worry about how other people are praying. Don't worry about what you were taught as a kid or what somebody else is doing. Just go inside your deepest heart. Find where the pain is inside yourself and see how millions are feeling that pain. And then call in help from the omniverse. You just call it in through intent. It's called the Internet, I-N-N-E-R, and it's ancient and it's wise, and it's way in advance of the Internet. And so when you send out that intent that you have a situation that you want help with, it goes out, and you can just send it out to omnipresent omniverse, or you can send it out to specific deities or ancestors or realized beings. But you send it out one way or the other, follow inner guidance, but you send it out. And they are there. Now, if you're an empath, if you're psychic, you probably will feel their presence one way or the other. But even if you're not, they're still there. And that would, if you cannot feel them, okay, if you can't, my suggestion would be this. Call them in, okay, and you can't feel them there, but you've called them in, and just on faith, you say to them, I've got to have my third eye open. I've got to be able to sense your presence when I call you in. So right off the bat, we're going to start to get to know each other. Me and my physical embodiment, you in whatever dimensions you're in. But I need my third eye open so I can clearly communicate back and forth. So whatever needs to be done, diagnose it and do it according to the highest good of all. And once you put that request out, it travels along pathways, like neuron pathways. They're beautiful. They're ancient because they're the original divine pathways. And you set in motion chains of events. You set in motion, you're changing causes. You're changing fate. You're changing your fate and everybody's fate by making these requests. However it is you make it, it's really important not to compare yourself to other people, whether it's books you've read or movies you've seen, because there's no two people alike. There's no two DNA alike. And that's going to be true after the change as well, which is why being an embodiment will be so delightful, because it's always intriguing and new. Every person you meet is totally unique. Every day is unique. And it gives it continual interest, because one of the big pushes back in the 80s and 90s was to understand aging, and what they found instead is that we're designed to be immortal and ageless. And the only thing getting in the way of that happening really is our own selves. But our own selves have been programmed. And that's all correcting. But what I'm saying here, Saturn, if you watch the David Icke film, was called the Black Sun, and it's worshipped. And the stuff that you can get, honestly, from NASA and places like that, it's just a weird place. It's very, very weird. And there's anomalies that happen around it all the time. But in the ancient teachings that we read from in these books right here, Saturn is a step-down transformer of divine will into form. In other words, what we just said with the angels of Golog was that if you want to change something, you make a clear visual image of it being changed just the way you want it, and you call in help from divine beingness to help you manifest this vision for the highest good of all. And they will do that. They will do that. And the way it happens is where a lot of the misinterpretation of the old scriptures from one language to another occurred. Basically, what Saturn does is it takes the incoming desire and it figures out what the existing materials are at hand, and using those existing materials, how to manifest that desire. In other words, Saturn is the physical component of what you're dreaming, what you're visualizing. And so it's really like a master architect, and it's really your best friend. It's like if you were building a house, you would want one guy in charge who knew, had the materials, got the best materials. Put them together in the best way. You want a good architect, and that's what Saturn is. It's a very mystical planet, and it triggers the formation of our skeletal system. The frequencies coming off Saturn, there's weird sounds coming off Saturn. You can hear them on the YouTube. I mean, it's like right out of an Outer Limits movie. I'm serious. And so you kind of keep an eye on that planet, because if you do, you can just kind of, your mind can wrap around kind of what's going on a little, if it wants more to wrap around. And with Saturn conjuncting Antares right now, whatever you ask for is so supercharged, I cannot even tell you. There are no words to express it. If you want to see the ecosystems of the world restored and the oceans restored and everybody happy, everybody healthy, everybody having a wonderful time and in divine consciousness, then you visualize that. And you call in help. And if you have specific beings you want to call in, great. And if you don't, great. It doesn't matter. You put the call out. Whoever happens to pick up the call will read what it is and go find whoever is necessary for it to be answered. It's a network. It's an intelligent computer, only instead of being made out of plastic and wires, it's made out of water. On a microcosmic level, our bodies are 99% water, with the same salinity as the ocean. We're walking oceans. And anyone who knows anything about computers knows that water holds more information than anything. We're walking computers. We're walking oceans. And we are powerful. But the way to use the power is to get in the habit of speaking your prayers in visual images. You just train yourself to do it. Just pretend that your whole life you've dreamed of being a cartoon illustrator. And boom, you got the job. And you were asked to make cartoon illustrations of your fondest dreams. Or to interview other people and say, what are your fondest dreams? What would it look like? And then draw the pictures of it. Only in this case, you're drawing the pictures from your own heart of what you want. And you do it from the point of view that all things are equally possible. Like a little child. And with Saturn conjunct Antares right now at this degree, if you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, if you've got Alzheimer's, if you're half machine and half android or something, you can call and help. You just put the call out and don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. And you can just say, look, I don't know what's wrong. I don't even know who I am or what I'm doing, but I'm asking for help. I am asking for complete and total enlightenment, rapture, joy. And I'm asking for myself and for all others so that we can truly be divine. And whoever it takes for this to happen on planet Earth, I'm asking to come and do it. And if you who are listening to me want to help but you don't think you know how to do it, go find the ones who can. It's easy. It's a planet, and we need initiation. We need advanced initiation. The whole planet needs the laying on of hands, like you do with a sick child. You do the laying on of hands. So you get a planet who's asking for the laying on of hands for the planet. And there are beings who do that, believe it or not. But if you don't dial 911, they're not just going to magically show up at your door. You make the call. Now, if you can't visualize, that's okay. Make it in whatever language you speak. But make it. The intent will go out. And there are beings who can unscrabble it and translate it for the other beings. So what I would like to suggest right now is that we do that. Let's do that as a practice right now. So everybody, we're going to take a quick break to just get a glass of water, turn the lights down, turn off the radio, go alone where you're not around everybody else, whatever you need to do to go into a deep meditation. Because we're going to do this tonight. We're taking advantage of this. So just, you got about a minute. Take your time. Okay, we're going to do 3 special breaths. This is a very important group meditation. And those of you listening to the recording later, Google time, Stephen Hawking and others, time is very slippery. You slip through time just through intending to do it. So don't worry about it. You'll be joining through intent. So do 3 special breaths where you breathe into the count of 10, you hold to the count of 10, you breathe out to the count of 10, and hold to the count of 10. Do this 3 times, starting now. Take really deep breaths. Remember your lifetimes as a yogi or yogini when you perfected breathing, and just fill your whole body up with oxygen. Okay, we call in the living flame of divine love to be here with us now. And we call in universal cosmic consciousness to be here with us now. And we are asking for ourselves, and we're asking for all others. Because we're all one, and what happens to one affects all others. So we're asking for all of everyone, everywhere, through all time and space and all dimensions. Everything we are calling in now, and we are asking for the highest good of everything, individually and collectively. And so for the next 90 seconds, visualize yourself in the seventh heaven of delight, of divine satisfaction and harmony and supreme happiness and beauty. And visualize it for 90 seconds. And visualize the backdrop of your tribes, your close people in your family, the collective also being happy and fulfilled. So for 90 seconds, get visual images like a cartoon of this divine beauty for yourself and others. And at the same time, you'll be doing a split thing here, two things at once. Call in help. We've already called them in. They're here to make this a reality. Starting now, 90 seconds. And just spend another 90 seconds enjoying the feelings of this vision, and feel the divine beings picking up on it on the internet and broadcasting it and organizing to bring it into being. So do this for 90 seconds, starting now. Now for the last 90 seconds, give thanks that this is done, starting now. And that's the routine that, to the best of my knowledge, is the routine. And I wanted to touch on a few other weird things about this chart, besides the fact that Saturn is conjuncting Antares at the place of evocation, is the Sun is conjuncting trans-Pluto at 30 degrees Cancer, which is fate. It's fate. And what did we just do? We changed fate. We just changed it. And then not only that, but you've got the part of Fortune conjuncting Kronos at 10 degrees Cancer, which is the place of weather control. And we, as human beings, can control the weather. And the way you do it is exactly the way we just went through, only you call in the intelligences of the weather. And you give them a clear visual image with the law of one, because the storms are important. They perform various functions which are necessary, but you just say, well, this is what I do anyway. I just say, be who you are and do what you do, and thank you for being here. We need a good storm, to cleanse the air and do all the things that storms does, but just do it in a way that's the highest good of all. And that storm will skip over houses. They're intelligent beings. And then we have another conjunction, which is the axis conjunct Pallas Athena at 5 Pisces, which is merriment. And it's opposing, it is opposing the vertex, which is the doorway to higher dimensions, which is at the place of love, harmony, and beauty. So, Marianne, would you like to read 5 Virgo?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this is your doorway to higher dimensions, folks, according to the lineup of the planets, which is like a supercomputer.
5 Virgo. What's real interesting is my phone doesn't say you are now muted or you're unmuted.
Oh, no.
So, you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you.
Okay. This is 5 degrees Virgo. Grimil, the angels of love, harmony, and beauty. Beloved, love and harmony, as well as hate and disharmony, will teach you to understand the exact laws of sympathy and epiphany. After you gain this knowledge, you realize what is true beauty. It will be clear that beauty is but another expression for harmony. Blessings are omnipresent in all creation. Like other virtues, grace and mercy are enlivened by feelings. We are the heavenly hosts of love, harmony, and beauty. We are their protectors. Through feelings of love, harmony, and beauty, you attain abilities to communicate with the wonderful beings known in your lore as fairies, salamanders, sylphs, undines, gnomes, and nature spirits. In the pristine plan of creation, these beings are responsible for demonstrating beauty, harmony, and love in nature and the 4 elements. Sensitivity to the omnipresence of divinity and love in everything perceived with the 5 senses opens inner sight. These beings can then be seen and communicated with by intuitive perception and imagination. In meditating on the 6 virtues of Gramil, the mind begins to process meanings behind meanings, worlds behind worlds. These 6 qualities, Gramil, emphasize the profundity of grace and mercy. In another angel message is explained how grace and mercy work within divine law. Every action evokes a reaction, and every act is a seed that grows and bears fruit, which must be reaped by the sower. So ordinarily, when harmful seeds are sown, a like harvest is reaped through the laws of cause and effect. However, when a person is uplifted toward perfection through the mercy and blessings of providence, the resultant filling contains amazing compressed information. Grace and mercy, a virtue of such feelings, reveals much about harmlessness. In this way, instead of learning lessons of harmlessness through karmic suffering, one learns through the outpouring of grace and mercy. Then when reaping comes due and harvest is gathered, harmful effects of the negative harvest glance off the essence of the person so blessed, expressing only in a weakened or symbolic manner. Hurtful negative energy cannot penetrate powerful positive energy. How wonderful that when effects of past errors return, they are made harmful and merely symbolic by the greater spiritual consciousness that has come about by the outpouring of divine blessing. This is how grace and mercy operates within the legality of karma and cause and effect. The spiritualizing uplift in one's consciousness can come directly from providence, from the heavenly host and teachers, and indirectly through prayers from others and or through one's own efforts in diligently seeking perfection. With the power of heightened spirituality, peacefulness, and blessings by providence are acquired. In time, the virtue of grace and mercy is encompassed. Then, happiness and satisfaction flows both in self and for others. On the material plane, this attracts great abundance and unity with cosmic awareness. Fourfold meditation and being, thought, feelings, and senses on the virtues of Gramil aid one to understanding fate, consequences, enabling to create only what is beautiful and harmonious for self and others. These virtues fill a seeker with individuality and freedom and understanding of emotions, because these qualities initiate into complete and absolute understanding of cause and effect. They finally unite a person with all the divine virtues. Harmony is a key to transformation of self and the outer universe. As a seeker walks upon the path of harmony, great beauty and splendor surrounds them in ever-increasing majesty. Even the smallest of creations reveal the most beautiful evidence of love and harmony of universal being. With free will, ask us, the angels of love, harmony, and beauty, to be with you. Bless all, for truly we are all one in complete love, beauty, and harmony. It is inevitable that veils of illusion are lifted from earth and the eternal perfection of God in splendor and majesty and love, beauty, and harmony are revealed in joyous fulfillment of divine will upon earth. And that is 5 degrees Virgo, Grimil, the angels of love, harmony, and beauty. And thank you. Thank you, angels.
Thank you. So, right now, it's a good time while our DNA is mutating from these gamma ray bursts from that quasar that's microlensing onto Earth, is a good time while you're resting to just go inside and meditate and put out the call to whoever you want to put it out to, and thank them for coming, and tell them what your vision is. And you can say it in words, but be sure you visualize it. And ask for help with it. And thank them for doing it. And they like to do it. They really do. They're like young men who like to play football or maybe tennis. They just enjoy it. They enjoy it when people call them in and give them things to do. They're good at it. And they know how to network. So this evocation is really, when you're talking about Saturn, it's what you have to do to make things work. So a number of us, and hopefully all of us on some level, are calling in this divine grace and mercy, this beautiful abundance and beauty and blessing. So I rest my case. This is what's going on. Does anybody else, Mayor, would you like to add anything? What?
No. Yes or no?
I think Mayor's getting on.
No, I'm just in gratitude that we can really just evoke and call it in and visualize it and feel it and ask for it, and that it really is, it is ours, it is for everyone. And I'm just so grateful that this is really happening. Oh, it's just so wonderful.
And Mayor and I are calling in a lot, so if you're busy and you can't wrap your brain around it, we're working heavy duty down here. And we'll get you covered. We'll cover you. All right. So I'll turn it over to you, I guess, Mayor or Marianne, and or to anyone who would like to share right now.
Cynthia?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to open the calls up.
Yay,
so
I love it.
See if anybody wants to come in. So, one moment, please. Wow. I'm not sure where we are in this mode. So, can somebody open their lines up and say hello? And if we don't hear anything, I'll keep changing it because I'm not sure where I'm at. Okay. I'm going to change the mode again.
Marianne, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm not sure where I'm at in the
Well,
sequence.
it's not giving the voice recording. Like, usually if I hit *6, it'll say, you are muted. And then if I hit *6 again, it says unmuted. And the voices are gone tonight.
That's what I mentioned. And
I
so
know.
It's very interesting. It's like,
yes, it is.
Okay, I'll keep asking for someone to come in because I'm not sure where I'm at with the sequence. So,
I know.
I changed it a second time. So, I mean, you don't need to just share. Can somebody just say hello? just to see. I just need to know where.
Just to see where, if we've got everybody muted or not.
Right. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Okay. Can somebody say hello?
Unmute.
Wow.
Wow. We got our voices back.
Wow, Marianne.
That's very interesting.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that did it. That last one did it.
Yay.
Wow. Well, hey, Pat. Hello. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, well, thank you for such a lovely call. I'm sorry I was a few minutes late, so I missed the very beginning. But, Cynthia, you're always on point, so thank you.
Well, muchas gracias.
And your readings, is that Mare that is doing the readings?
Yeah, Mare did a couple, and then Marianne did one, too.
Well, the two ladies that do the readings, they do a great job, and I thank you a lot. And it was needed for me because I just feel like I'm sliding into ever deeper, darker regions of hell. So I'm just it's a reminder, where to point my where to point my eyes. Right? Where to go, where to hold my focus.
Right.
And ask for help. You know what I would do, Pat? I'll tell you exactly what I would do in a heartbeat. I'd call in the whole being of God, and I would say, analyze my whole situation, go into my subconscious mind, read it, superconscious, look at my physical situation, my memories, everything about me. Just look at everything about me, things I don't even know myself. And whatever you see there, we praise, respect, thank, and love it, but I want everything tuned up into the frequency of the highest good of all. Yep. And I'm asking that this be done as an initiation, and that it be a permanent state of enlightenment and joy that is the highest good of all. And then when you feel that click in, then you say, and I also ask that it be done for all others in the way that's the highest good of all. And that way they go to town on it.
Yeah, I do get that, and I've known for the highest good of all, that part at least as important as the first part, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I think where I start suffering is from lack of awareness, and
well, then ask for more awareness.
Well, here's the thing. I did that. And I had a bizarre answer from a dead person.
Oh, no. What was it, dare I ask?
I ran across a seminar from my last spiritual mentor who passed away several years ago. And this has to include the Mandela effect, too. He had a video seminar that was played that I just happened to run into, and I listened to it. And the very first thing out of his mouth, now when the man was alive, I could be in a room full of 500 people, and I always could tell by the sound and frequency of his voice who he was talking to at any point in time during his talks. And it was just something I could feel. And so I knew when he was talking to me, I knew he was talking, it was just I could trace the energy. And the minute he started, he said, so I had been suffering the tortures of the damned because I don't know these bizarre things going on with the Mandela effect and what's up with me and the Nazis and all of this and all of this stuff. And, of course, since I don't really know, I have a lot of clues, but I don't really know anything, I keep getting it in my head that I have to understand what's going on so I know what to do next. Because every time I've done something, things seem to have just like stirring up a hornet's nest. That seems to be all I've accomplished. And so anyway, that was the first thing out of his mouth. He looked right in the camera and went, and made this kind of look of, all right.
Oh, no.
And he says, hey, how about you're not supposed to know what's going on?
Now, that's sweet. I like that. That rocks.
Yeah, it may rock, but it don't make it any easier.
No, it makes it more exciting.
Yeah, it does. It's very exciting, very dramatic, and it's like Act 3.
Yeah.
And I said that. And, only now are some of the things that I've been going through for the last 20 years, only now are some of that starting to come out, at least to some people in the public eye.
Wow.
Vis-a-vis what's going on with the Clintons and the Bushes and the Kissingers and the Nazis.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I've been in the middle of all this my whole life.
Right.
And it's like, my situation, because I have been not knowing what's going on, and, that's a very...
ignorance is bliss.
There's a safety in general, when I'm not all weirded out, I can accept that there is a safety factor there. Plus, fools rush in where wise men fear to tread.
Yeah.
It's sort of like I've rushed into and been in the middle and surrounded, literally surrounded by a dozen, and getting attacked from a dozen different directions at once. And if I gave a litany of every broken neck, broken back, broken this, broken that, cancer this, cancer that, it sounds absurd.
Yeah.
Still here. And the things that I have accomplished, if that comes out, it's going to be pretty darn amazing. And at least it has a shot.
Uh-huh.
And I'll tell you one thing I'll say about Trump.
Yeah.
When he first started running, I had kind of people that I knew in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't win a spitting contest in New York. He's hated there.
Wow.
People don't have respect for him because he's a trust fund baby. He didn't make his own money. He inherited his money, and his father made the money off of the backs of screwing poor people. He was a slumlord. So he doesn't come from all of that great and elegant, albeit rich. He didn't come from any great background. And he is obviously not a polished person. But here's the thing. My mentor, who's now passed, that same guy, what if you're not supposed to know, he told a story 20, 30 years ago on Trump, but without ever mentioning his name, but you couldn't not know who he was talking.
Oh, no.
That he said that he and his best buddy, Merv Griffin, the, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, singer from the 50s, Merv Griffin, and he and Trump were in Trump Towers playing poker one night. And Trump was in bad, as usual, he was up to his nose in debt and filing for bankruptcy for all his corporations. And he had only one piece of property left. And he's up there playing with multi-millionaire Merv Griffin and my friend. And it's poker. And Merv raises, and Donald doesn't have any more chips. So he goes over to his safe, he pulls out a piece of paper, and he slaps the paper down on the table, and it was the deed to his Atlantic City casino, supposedly.
Wow.
And the thing of it was, that, and then said, show your cards, Griffin. And so he did, and Merv won. And, of course, Trump was all red in the face and blah, blah, blah. Merv got up, left the room for a moment to go to the bathroom or something, I don't know. And while he was gone, the Donald says to my friend, I forgot to mention, before he got up to go to the bathroom, he picked up his chips, but he left the paper on the table.
Okay.
And now, apparently in poker, when you do that, what he was indicating was that he was going to let Trump keep his...
Wow.
Right.
And so while he was gone to the bathroom or wherever he went, and before he came back, Trump says to my friend, "What an idiot. You know how he talks. I'm not going to say all the cuss words he would say, but he basically goes, what an idiot. You know, he's got to know. If the shoe was on the other foot, I sure as hell wouldn't have left the paper on the table.
Wow.
And it was like, all right. And this is going to be a guy running for president of the United States. But here's the thing. My friend, who is now deceased, he had a public life. He's a best-selling New York Times author more than once. And he's pretty famous all over the world for one thing. What he did on the down low as his ministry around the world was very deep. He knew everybody all over the world, and I mean everybody. And he was always he was the guy responsible for when Czechoslovakia was having a civil war or about to have a civil war between the North and the South. He was the one that explained to Václav Havel how to avoid civil war, and he followed his advice, and the Czech Republic and Slovakia were doing great until our bad, alphabet agency people got involved. But in any case, so we're talking people. This guy knew Trump. He also knew everybody else in the world, and I got to thinking about it.
Okay.
It's remotely possible that maybe Trump really isn't the buffoon and the idiot that he appears to be. Maybe he really has found some sort of spiritual enlightenment, and maybe he's doing God's work.
It's always possible.
I can't say that for a fact, but I will at least leave that open as a possibility. Thus, add his name to the list for the highest good of all.
Well, we're asking for the twinkling of an eye when the crooked is made straight and everything's made white as snow that's been prophesied. And if from my very limited scientific knowledge right now of what's going on, they're not giving a whole lot of facts and figures, but just from what is kind of insinuated, this microlensing of that quasar to Earth right now, the frequency of the gamma ray, could mutate us almost overnight. I think that's one reason we're tired, because I think our DNA is mutating, and I think it's a normal immune system reaction to a living organism.
Yes.
In other words, just like if you scratch yourself and your white blood cells go and they do all the stuff that they're going to do, that's just what an immune system does. And so if you get a creation that's in danger, then there would be an immune response. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason that this GOLOG, this Angels of Evocation, is so critical is that the beings who can help bring this about need our request. They need our feedback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that before, that is it's not just galactic, that it's a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Because as spiritual beings, we are sovereign. And for another spiritual being to mess with your karma, your life, your anything, without, being invited is a karmic violation.
Right.
And that's beyond whatever galactic rules are out there,
But see, here's the deal. The law of one trumps even that law. All other laws in all times and dimensions, social or civil, scientific, mathematical, whatever, the law of one trumps it. And that's where Almighty comes in. That's where these amazing powers like omniscience or the amazing power of omnipresence.
I agree with you. That's where...
we're talking magic. Do you believe in magic?
But it's also not just magic. It's also not galactic. It's also not religious. It's also spiritual. And on a spiritual level, the word that I had used for me, I think that describes that, is what they refer to as grace.
Yeah, me too. Divine grace. It's initiation. It's the downpouring of this high frequency of love.
Yep.
That just is transforming.
Exactly, and grace doesn't need an invitation, so you're right there.
Exactly, if we could but realize it. But that would be something to ask for help with, that we ask for help that every man, woman, and child can realize that grace is right here.
Well, the Chinese have a saying, may you live in interesting times.
Oh, boy, do I ever remember that.
Very interesting times.
Yep.
So thank you very much. I appreciate y'all's reference points. It helps keep me going.
Well, your reference point is just a gift. It's just a wonderful gift. I just feel so blessed and honored when you share.
Well, thank you very much. I don't really, I'm not used to talking in public, and I'm kind of a introvert in general. I've learned how to talk in public. I've been forced to learn how, but it's not like, oh, that's who I am.
I got you, girl.
Better one-on-one than I am with a group, and knowing that this is going to end up on YouTube just...
Oh, my God, the courage, the bravery. Oh, my goodness. Thank you very much.
Because
I think it's helping people a lot.
Well, let me put it this way. I can tell you with great assurance that with me talking, yes, you will have more people listening, but it may not be the people you want listening.
Well, they're loved too. You know, when one is harmed, all are harmed. Whether if they're harming other people for any reason whatsoever, it's harming them too.
Oh, let me tell you this about that. Having been married in the past to someone who is in the Illuminati and Rothschild bloodlines.
Wow.
It is one of my big life lessons to learn and see personally how sad it is when somebody thinks that, when somebody is so unknowing and has not experienced love, pure love,
right?
They actually interpret it as a weakness.
Yep.
Exploit. Because when I handed my now ex, the divorce papers, what he said to me was, "Why, you can't divorce me. You love me. You have to put up with my abuse."
Wow.
He was genuinely, absolutely flabbergasted.
Wow.
And so was everybody behind him. I broke ranks. I didn't do what I was told.
Well, we ask for their highest good, too, because whether one is causing harm or whether one is being harmed, the ripples go out, and it affects everybody, so, and comes back to the sender many times over. So we're just asking for sudden, amazing, divine grace and mercy, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, divine love and initiation, and advanced initiation from whatever worlds, inwardly or outwardly, are the highest good of all in any situation. And we give thanks that this is done. So be it, and so it is.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you, Pat. Can you hear me? It went back to...
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I changed the mode, and I'm not sure which one I'm...
It's just weird right now.
This makes the night real interesting.
Yes, it does.
But
a few special effects here.
I just keep having to ask. So, anyways, but anybody else? Please, *6. That other side is open. I haven't done anything with that side since I got it open. So please, *6, come on in, say hello, have any comments, how the night was, how the meditation was. But Cynthia, this was, I'm not going to end the call here yet, but there was a lot going on tonight, and
I think so.
It was a very, very powerful call, and we did it in a short time, or you did it in a short time, and it was exactly what was needed. And
yeah, it is. We have access to just amazing power right now with Antares, exactly conjunct Saturn. And it's retrograde, so it's our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our meditation, our dreams. And so ask away, people, and just be sure you ask for the highest good of all, including your own. Because whether the harm is done to others or done to you, it still affects everybody. So we want you happy. We want you in ecstasy. We want you divinely enlightened. And we want ourselves divinely enlightened in ecstasy. And we want the divine perfection everywhere, outwardly and inwardly, for the highest good of all. And so we're calling on that. We're calling on the whole being of creation to respond in kind. And if you want to help, please do whatever you want to do, and just ask that it be the highest good of all. And that way we will all reap a mighty harvest of the highest good of all. And we, at the same time, will be broadcasting the seeds of the highest good of all. In total love, with all, with divine and all.
Beautiful. Wow. Hey, Mayor, do you have anything to add?
Mira, do you have anything to add?
No, she just said good night.
I'm going to say good night.
I think me too.
Any other topic, if we go into it,
I know.
will dilute what we did, and and we don't need another topic. And so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everyone who is on the call, the Galactics, people who will be listening on YouTube. They're friends and family. Somehow they're, even if they're not listening to the call, people throughout the world. Thank you for who you are and what you do, and thank you for being here.
Yep.
So good night, everyone. We love you. We thank you. And we will see you on Monday.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, thank you. That was beautiful. That was lovely. Oh, I loved it. I went in such a deep space. It was hard for me to keep talking.
Are you looking for healing or a change in your life to help you enjoy it more fully? You might benefit from a galactic energy reading and clearing from Chris Jacobs. Chris will work with you on a soul level to clear unseen negative influences, implants, programs, contracts, and energetic blocks. Chris Jacobs is a gifted energy healer. Contact him today at ChristopherStephenJacobs@gmail.com.